Hello. How's it going, everyone? So today we have some requests from the Discord and also the art membership. So this one right now, this character on the screen is from the Discord. Orsinster, if I'm saying that correctly, has submitted this character and they just asked me to redraw it. So there's no real restrictions on this. I think we could kind of do whatever style we feel like going for. Hello, Jay. Later today, we're going to be doing some animation too. I have a submission of a run cycle that I want to look at. Let's first focus on this guy here. I'm not too sure where I'm going to go with this, but we're just going to get rock and rolling and see what happens. Okay. I guess I could take a few notes. So what I'm seeing here is this character has a pretty large head. He also seems pretty tall. He has big eyes. And he seems pretty slim. He also seems like he has a very happy expression. And let's see what we got here. This type of eyes give me very like American cartoon. So we're probably gonna lean more towards like an American cartoon art style for this. Anything else I can think of? This is a lot of hair. So either we can go like big head or big hair, I think. It's a very oval shape for the head, but I don't think we're gonna lean towards the oval shape. I think what we're gonna lean towards is the long head shape. Okay. Can I draw your character next, Tiny? We'll see. We'll see. Post it. Let's see. Post it in the Discord. And I'll see if I have time towards the end, because I do want to get to the run cycle today. And that's going to take me some time. So, depending on how fast we can get through some of this stuff, I might have time towards the end of the stream to draw your character. Alright. So let us get a few proportions in here. I'm going to actually make this character a bit smaller. Well, let's see. The head really large here. This character also doesn't have a nose, but I kind of want to put one in. So we'll see. We're doing a lot of interpretation here. You want to lean more towards like this really American art style. Something like maybe in between like a modern cartoon and a Cuphead type thing. I'm not sure why I'm in that mood today. I'm trying to draw zoomed out so I don't get too focused on the details here. The Spectre! I'm glad you can make a live one. Tiny, if you're still here, is there anything specific about your character that you want me to redraw or look at? Or you just want to see what I would do with it in general? Like, blue sky, free, full reign to do whatever I want. Bookflow Yogi, hello. You like seeing me draw? Thank you. Solomon, hello. How's it going? Abby asked me, when I draw my assets in vector, do I break them down and work with bone animation, or do I go with a sprite sheet based animation? These days, I always try to go with bone animation. I really enjoy bone animation, especially because I can get a lot more detailed artwork without worrying about like performance issues or having to redraw every frame super detailed. So that's what I like to do when I can, is go with bone animation. But I also like frame by frame hand-drawn stuff too. But like, yeah, I definitely try to lean towards bone animation when I can. Howdy, Quentin. Yes, I am the Marshmallow Man. Solomon also wants a character redraw. We'll see. I would like to do more redraws, but I want to do this animation. So we'll see how long the animation takes me, and then I'll do more redraws. So I'll do one for Tiny, and then if we have more time, I'll do one for Solomon. Are you in the Discord, Solomon? If you are, then post your character in the Discord. If I can't get to it this stream, I'll try to do it next stream. I'll be streaming again next Sunday, so whoever I don't get to today, it's always next time. This character seems so neat and clean. I'm used to like drawing more like messy kind of hairstyles, but this guy seems very, very tidy. So today I'm gonna be animating frame by frame. I can show you, but the animation that I am reviewing was done with bone animation inside of Unity. So here's what I'm referencing. We have this character here, which is super cool. And they have this run cycle. And I just want to make some notes. They're asking me for some feedback on the run cycle. And there's some things that I would change about this. I think there's some things that could be made a little bit differently so it could read a little bit better. But I like the run cycle, especially because this can be used in a game and zoomed all the way out. From a distance, this works super well. So they don't really have to do much or anything at all. But since they're asking for feedback, I decided to kind of nitpick and point out a few things they could do differently. But this is already quite good. So that's what we'll be doing today. I won't be doing a bone rig animation. I'll just be drawing on top of this. And let's see. I'll just be drawing on top of this, tracing over the limbs, and kind of repositioning where I think they should be instead of where they actually are. That's what I'll be doing today. Quentin says they're about to give up on line art. Don't give up on line art. It is like, it's painful sometimes. Line art is a little painful. I like to use the Bezier curve tool or the pen tool for line art. Like, for example, I'm gonna turn this blue. That's hard to see. I'm just gonna lower the opacity for now. I'm gonna make a new layer. And in Clip Studio Paint, you can make vector layers. And what that means is if you draw lines with this layer on, you can manipulate the lines later. Like, let me just draw a few lines here and show you what I mean. So on a vector layer, with the pen tool, I can actually click and drag things into position. Kind of like this. And let's say that I'm happy with this line, or I wasn't happy with this line. Let's say this line was way over here. I can actually go through and move things around to get things exactly where I want them to be. So if I have, so this makes line art a lot simpler. When you don't have to worry about getting it the first stroke perfectly, you can always just keep trying again and nudge things around until it's perfect. So I can make a curve here. Another curve here. We can get this guy over here. So this is what I would recommend for line art, especially if you're having trouble with line art. This saves me a lot of time and a lot of stress. You can add new points, move those points around. So you don't have to like be stuck with just the points you drew. You can always add more points or even delete points. This is the way I like to do line art. You could also change the width of these lines later on if you're like, hey, I want this to be thicker or thinner. It's actually really nice. Okay, awesome, Tiny. Thanks for putting your character in the chat. I'll take a look if you're having more time after the stream. Have I ever tried drawing with a mouse? Let's see. That's going like way back for me at this point. I'm sure I have. I do like to do my inking with a mouse, with the method I just showed, because I think that's easier to do than with a tablet sometimes. So I still use the mouse for like do my line art, but I don't use it so much for sketching. I like to sketch with the tablet for sure. Yeah, Quentin, definitely give the Bezier curve tool a try. It's been a lifesaver for me, so hopefully you like it too. It does take a little while to get used to. There is a learning curve to it, but when you get the hang of it, it's really, really nice. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna imagine this character with like maybe a turtleneck. I know he doesn't really have a neck here. We're just gonna give him one. Why not? Let's rough out the body so you can see exactly what we're working with. So this is gonna be like the torso. This can be like the hips. You can get the legs in here. Let's see. What are we gonna do with the arms? I'm not sure if I just want to have it just hanging down. We could. Something that I don't like doing very much. Like these proportions feel too even for me. So what I might do is just exaggerate something. Like maybe he has really long legs. Like I'm trying to make him look tall. I just give him his legs a lot of room. Yeah, without a mouse. Okay, so if you're drawing with a mouse, you don't have the like pressure sensitivity, which can come in handy a lot when drawing. So you kind of have to work either in a style that favors a mouse, because it's gonna limit you in some ways if you don't want to draw with a mouse, or if you don't want to draw with the tablet and you're only using a mouse. I mean. Pressure sensitivity can help a lot, especially with shading and adding color. If you want to get like a very painterly look, you can always go through manually and add opacity to your strokes, but it can be more of a hassle than is necessary. Hey, golden boy. We're just doing a quick redraw of this character that was submitted in the Discord. Yep, thank you, Solomon. That's exactly what we're doing. So at this stage, I'm pretty happy with the proportions and the general kind of vibe of this character. So what I want to do... This arm is too far out. I can tell that already. But what I want to do at this stage is flip my canvas and make sure that I don't have any crazy big proportion issues or something I'm missing. So right here, this is why we flip our canvas, because this face looked okay to me up until just now. So I want to change this. I'm gonna bend the body over the liquify tool. So I'm just gonna move things around just a little bit. There we go. And that looks better to me. The arm being far out fits him, you think? Let's see. We can give him some kind of gesture. What if he's just having very kind of casual conversation? I'm gonna want to keep the shapes pretty simple here and not add any crazy detail, since the shapes on the original character also is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna flip my canvas back. There is a taper on the arms. I'm gonna try to keep that in here as well. I'm gonna make mine into a puff for the sleeve of like the sweater. Kind of like that. Oh yeah, I think he did say he did it in Scratch. I don't know much about drawing in Scratch, but that sounds impressive to me. I know it's like a game engine. Hey, Golden Boy, if you want your art to maybe be on a stream, you could submit it in the Discord. either in the hand-drawn art support channel or in the general chat, wherever you want to put it. I'll find it. I'll find it, don't worry. I might not have time this stream to do it, but I might do it next stream. Guess I'll keep it simple for the hands. Nothing too crazy. I think I'm gonna add some cuff to the bottom of the pants here. Just to break up the design a little bit more. Oh, hey Slime! How's it going? You imagine him wearing overalls? I think he would look pretty good in overalls. You can give him overalls, why not? This is a collaborative effort. There we go. It looks pretty good on him. One side being up. Let's try it like this. So, Slime, I'm not sure if this is part of a game or not. He did say he made it in Scratch, so I imagine that it was probably used for a game project. I don't know much about it. It probably was used in a game, but I don't know much about it. I think I can understand why you feel that way, Solomon. No offense at all. No offense taken. The art style does seem to be effective, though. Because there's a lot of videos like that out there. So I'm going to be animating inside Clip Studio Paint, the same software I'm using right now. Maybe we can give him some boots. I think he has overalls. I feel like he needs boots. I won't be animating this character, but I'll be animating another character that was submitted to me. Or I'll be critiquing the animation of another character that was submitted to me. So I'm gonna be doing like a small, rough draw over of the animation. Nothing like super polished or final. They do have an artist vibe to it. Yeah, I could definitely see this is like an artist or a painter. Someone has a studio. It does look like he's offering some kind of ultimatum. I'm gonna push his feet in just a little bit. Okay, so I think this is about as far as I would like to take it. You think I should color it? I wasn't planning on making this a polished piece. Did forget this hand. Okay. I don't know if I would change the colors too much, but like, let's see what we can do. It's gonna be a rough color pass. It won't be a polished color situation either. Like, I'm not gonna ink this most likely. Okay. Let's put some color on this guy. Oh, you have an easy character? Okay, we can take a look. Put it in the Discord, and I think we're gonna have to do it next stream. I definitely don't think I have to do all the requests in this stream. But maybe next time. Okay, so this is the character with the same colors as the reference. And for the most part, I do like these colors. I think I might tone down the boots a little bit, because that's a little saturated, I feel. I don't want the boots to be too close to the hair color. I might push it a little more closer to blue or purple. That's a good tip as well, to use grayscale to make sure that we're using different values. So the darkest color right now is on the boot. At least on mine. Let's see. We brighten the boots, what would happen? So in Clip Studio Paint, all I did, and you can do this in any art software really, is I made a black layer, like fully black, and I changed that blend mode to color. And then that makes everything beneath it grayscale. The thing about grayscales is that it's not a perfect solution, unfortunately. Like, there are issues with this method. So you're gonna have to use your own artist intuition when you're creating the color palettes for all your stuff. So let's say, for example, we have, let's bring this blue color here. Let's get this green color here. Let's get this, maybe this orange color here. I actually kind of want to make these a bit darker. So I'm gonna darken these a bit and saturate them a little bit. Yeah, that's dark enough. And then I'm gonna get like this super bright saturated red and put that right here at the end. And this red should be brighter than all these other colors. But if you put this on, we're gonna see this red is darker than all these other colors. Red is one of those colors that for some reason, when you use this method with grayscale, it always appears way darker than other colors, even if it's the brightest color in the palette. So red is one of those very funny colors. I'm sure there's some other ones, but you have to be careful about that. Red is funny. It's gonna make your values seem off when they're not off. Yeah, no problem, Slime. I think I'm gonna go with purple boots. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm gonna make his hair a little bit brighter. But overall, I think I'm pretty happy with the colors on this. Real-time animation. We'll get to some real animation pretty soon, but we're almost done with this. We can maybe color the lines. Oh, my character. Thank you. Okay, gotcha. Gonna make this a bit more blue and darken it up. Go even darker. Oh, this seems pretty good. Actually gonna make this all one folder and then that back. Do skin. Do sweater. see. How does this look on the overalls? Not too bad, actually. Get a little bit darker. Overalls. Yeah, I think I'll keep the eyes and the mouth black lines. So these are different variations that we can come up with for this guy. So this is the original. It's the OG. This one has black lines. This one has color adjustments. And this one has color lines. Oh, thank you, Elias. So with this wrapped up, I think we can move on to the run cycle. I haven't done a run cycle in a little while, so this could be a complete train wreck, but we're gonna see. This is my third stream on YouTube, so still very new to streaming. So we have this run cycle here. and it looks pretty good. I just think there could be a small things I want to nitpick on to see if we can, I don't want to say make it better, because I don't think that's what it really needs, but see if we can figure out where some adjustments could be made. So let's start by tracing out this character completely. I'm gonna go frame by frame and just trace it out. The main thing I want to focus on is the legs. And I'm wondering if that's what I should just do, but let's do the whole thing. Why not? So one thing that I do want to change, I guess I should talk about that, what I feel needs to be changed about this. Let's talk about that very quickly, because I do think this is quite good. How's this color? Okay, like this. One of the things I want to kind of play around with is to see if I can have the character self looking kind of down. I want it to be more up, so I want to lift her head a little higher. I think the body tilt is pretty good. Something that I want to also see if I can do is not have this rotation. I think this rotation is really cool, but I'm not sure that kind of the amount she's running warrants a body rotation this much. So I want to see how it looks without it and keep it pointing forward like we have in this pose here. Something else I want to do is keep an eye on the point of contact when the foot is actually touching the floor. So we have some sliding with the foot where this, I would probably still keep this flushed to the floor and not lift it up just yet. And even maybe still here, depending how much weight you want to add to the animation, you can get away with keeping the foot flush still, especially if you don't want to have any extra bones to do that like in between stage where the toes are still here, but the back of the heel's lifted up. If you don't have that, then I would probably still just keep the foot flush on the floor at this stage. And probably around here, I would start kicking it up. So just keeping this steady, steady, still steady, and then we get some lift, and then we got some lift. And the easing in and out of some of these motions, I would probably adjust. I tend to like to keep my run cycles not full of easing and easing out. So the main motion of these feet, what I want to pay attention to is when you're running, it's a cycle. So the cycle is like quite literally like moving in like a circular motion, except with running it won't be like a perfect circle, but it's going to be more stretched out to like maybe a weird sort of like flattened oval where your foot is down here and then it's lifted and then has some air time and then it quickly comes back down again and then stays on the ground for a while, air. So the different kind of ways that you can go about drawing the motion for this. So it could have a path, like a circular path like this, or like this, or like this. You could try to map it to a perfect circle if you wanted to, but that's usually what's going to happen. So if we try to map this out, I wonder what the path actually is. So I'm following the back of the heel here. Okay. So that's quite an interesting path. We have something kind of like this. I want this path to be a little bit different. I'm just trying to think about how I would change it. Because I do think we should stay on the floor a bit longer. We can lift up. I want something more like this than like this. Hey, Honk! How's it go? How's it going? Okay. So that's the plan. Let's see what we can do. We have the head here. So we have the torso, we have the hip. Now we need to get the front leg in there. I'll just do this on the top layer. We'll do front leg. And we can try to do... She has these boots. I normally... Let's see. I might be able to... We'll just pretend that she doesn't have boots on right now. I like drawing feet as triangles, so... We'll just keep it like that for now. Yep, Golden Boy, we're on the animation part. So I'm just going to start by tracing out a rough kind of structure of the limbs, and then we're going to adjust that from there. So let's see where we end up. And do a back leg. This orange shows up pretty good. Okay. This back leg's gonna be orange. I want to make sure it connects back to the hip. I'm more concerned with the legs than I am with the arms. So We're still gonna do it. We're just gonna add in the arms. Let's find... I'm not too concerned. Go. I'll make the hand just into circles for now, for simplicity. And for the back arm, we can try... Okay, yellow can work. Back arm is gonna be kind of like this. Hey Yoli, thanks for stopping by. We're just gonna do a quick animation review. It's gonna duplicate this. Actually, I need to change my settings just a little bit. Okay. And this is 17 frames of animation. And that could definitely be chopped down a little bit. I'll tell you what, guys. I think... because we could be here quite a while. So instead, what I'm going to do is just the legs. That's my main gripe with this, is just the legs. And I don't want to keep you guys here all day, or keep myself here all day either. So we'll just do the legs. And if we can get this done fast enough, I might have some more time to do another character redraw. So we're going to follow the front leg, just like this. And this character did use bone animation, and I am using frame by frame animation. So there's definitely some things I can do that they cannot do. I could remove some frames, and I probably will at the end. But I want to isolate this exactly as it is so it can see exactly what's happening here. And like why I have this kind of nitpick with it. So isolating it, I think, the way it is, I think would give me the best view of it. But in the end, I probably will remove some frames or hold some frames longer. We'll see which direction I go with it, but I don't think it needs 17 frames. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Okay, so we have this leg, and now we are having this leg slide back. This might even go faster if I just focus on one leg at a time. So I think for the time being, I might just do the front leg and then circle back and do the back leg. I'm a little curious as to why it feels like I'm losing volume so frequently. Let's see. I measure from imagine this is top of the artwork. I imagine that this is probably the bottom of the artwork. Let's see, is this changing at all? I wonder. That seems consistent. No, I think it's just me. I think I'm just drawing it wrong. When I'm lassoing, I think I'm just moving my pixels around a little too loosely. Okay. Yeah, rotations like these I have to adjust. I think it's the way I'm just selecting. Also, something that I'm not accounting for when I'm moving these around is the hip is moving up and down, and I'm not moving mine over, so that's definitely contributing to why it's a little off. But for a rough animation, it's okay. Yeah, this is one of those frames that I would probably either hold on or delete. It's a very slight movement for this easing, and I don't know if we need this here. Center situation. I think we're almost done. We're more than halfway at this point. Walk cycles and run cycles are one of those things that seem like they would be super easy. They're actually really difficult. It seems like, oh, this would be like a very... Because we walk every day, we run every day. And so we think these should be simple things to animate too. And they are not. They are really tricky. Alright, so that is one leg down. Let's hide the back leg here. I think this frame too, we need to hide the back leg. There we go. Most of the activity is happening down this side. I think we can balance it out a little bit more. So let's get the back leg in, and then we can start adjusting the animation. So we have these two done already. We just need these. I know for some of these frames, I completely destroyed some of these layers by accident. So we need to copy and paste some new layers back in. Yep, that's what I meant. This layer is no good, but we can just paste in the old layer. Just like that. By the way, this is actually a really good method to study animation that you like. If there's any kind of like cool animation that you've seen, I highly recommend just tracing over it to understand what's happening, what's the motion, why they make the decisions that they made, and what's the spacing, what's the timing. Hi Villain's Quest, I'm having a very chill Sunday. Just vibing to some tunes and doing some animation reviews. Hope your Sunday's going pretty good. That's always nice when you can like have a moment to take a break from game deving and actually play some games. It's very easy to fall into the trap of being a game developer and then just don't play games anymore. You spend all your time just working on games. So I'm glad you found some time to do that. Pause menu and settings. Sounds like a lot of fun. Those always like, I don't do code, but even I've not met a coder yet that enjoys working on UI. Those things are important. UI and settings are super, super important. It is unappreciated work. Yeah, like when you get into a game project, there's so much work to do that you feel guilty taking breaks, but breaks are important too. It's good to take breaks. When you do get it working, it is very satisfying though. Like when your UI just works seamlessly, it's, yeah. It's a great feeling. Yeah, people who have like full-time jobs and still do game jams, or full-time school and do game jams, it's very, very impressive. I do think, depending what your major is, you might have more time than others. I know that like some people who went to art school, I hear stories of them like envying people that had like other degrees who are not artists because they had a bit more free time. Because art projects just take forever. Like they literally just take all the time you have. And it's very common for teachers to give assignments as if like they're the only class you're taking. So time becomes a very, very scarce resource. Unless you drop out. Oh no. You should not drop out for a game jam. That seems ill-advised. But you could. That is an option. This is not life advice. I'm just a marshmallow. Okay, we're almost done with the back leg now. I don't have the motions of the hips in this leg animation, but for a rough animation, that's okay. And normally when I do my first pass of animation, I don't include like the bouncing of the hips. I later go in for the second pass and I add those details in. So this is gonna give us what we need. I'm glad we decided to just do the legs for this, because this would have been a real project. If I had the actual like bone animation file, I probably could have made these adjustments really quickly, but I like doing it this way because it's a lot more tactile. We can definitely see a lot more what's happening and not get lost in the technicality of like the rig. I think it's easier for to show this way to viewers. Might be a little like confusing. It's confusing to me when people like make adjustments and it's like, okay, well, how much is being moved exactly? I'm just gonna sketch the body parts, and I'm just doing the leg. We're not gonna do the full character. Okay, so I think that marks this entire animation here. And yeah, this gives me exactly what I need to see. So we can make adjustments to this now. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this entire animation, and now we can make our adjustments. So hopefully this makes it a little more clear to everyone what's happening with the legs. We can see there's a big slowdown happening here because it's easing into this motion, which I'm not sure if it really needs to do. And then there is, let's see. The interesting thing about this is on the front green leg, there's a slowdown here, but on the orange leg, there isn't that much of a slowdown on that leg. So there's like a mismatch on, and that could happen in real life too. Like in real life, you're not always stepping with the same amount of force or like time on the ground with both legs, but we can make this a bit closer to each other. Okay, this is like one frame, and then on this next frame, we're already kicking off, and now it's fully in the air. But the green leg, it's like we're making contact, and then second frame contact, third frame contact, fourth frame contact, and then now on the fifth frame, we are no longer in contact. So 2 frames versus 4 frames is twice as long on one leg. So that's also contributing to this feeling a little unbalanced. It became a lot more jolting. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff happening with the character that can distract you from the small details of the animation. But that's what's happening underneath. And again, like from a distance, since this is going to be in game, I'm not sure how close the camera is to the character in game, but if this was a character inside of a game and this was like about the size of the character, this would be very much passable. Like you probably wouldn't think twice about it too much. But since we're looking at it so quickly and like so closely, I mean, in isolation, we can notice all these little small details that could be throwing off the animation. But in reality, when you have like monsters chasing you or things going on, you're not going to notice the animation that closely. But today we are. Yeah, Villain's Quest. That's something I was going to mention as well. The crossing pose could definitely be adjusted. So, for example, like really quickly. The crossing pose is when the legs cross one another, when they're kind of passing. So I would actually have this back leg probably be further back here. And this reads better to me as a crossing pose versus this. This doesn't feel very natural as a crossing pose, because your body wants to have its weight supported underneath it, and so the body is going to be, if I can quickly draw this here, the body is actually going to be kind of stacked on top like this. This is proportions crazy, but you get the idea. So when the leg is all the way over here instead, there's not a lot of oops. That's the wrong button. I'm actually not sure what I pressed. Let's see. Where'd my animation layer go? Okay. So, yeah, you want to have the body kind of stacked on top of the leg, and so you're able to support the weight. Go over here again. You want to be able to support the weight of the body. So the weight of the body is all of this. And so if your leg is over here, you're unbalanced. Like you're probably gonna tip over. Yes, exactly, Villain's Quest. After the green leg hits the floor, you're gonna want to straighten it out a little bit. Doesn't be anything crazy over the top, but that's the goal. Your body wants to kind of rebalance itself. So this is kind of the before and after of the same pose position. So we're gonna make some adjustments to this layer. Of all these small changes we want to make. We're gonna go through and see what we can do here. And I might do one leg at a time just to make things simpler to follow along with and see. If I do both legs at once, it might get a little confusing, so we're gonna do one leg at a time. And we might as well start with the orange leg the back leg, since we already, let's give that a go. So this leg, the back leg, it's currently going to be moving in this direction. And I'm going to want to keep it on the floor still. So what I'm going to do is actually copy this foot from this previous frame, go back to the back leg here, paste the foot here. I'm going to slide it over. I'm going to check our frames. So this is now sliding back in a much more satisfying way, I feel. And if you want to look at that, seen that before, we can go to the previous layer. And this is frame 1 and 2 before. And now this is frame 1 and 2 now. So we're going to keep on going. And I want to keep this probably on the floor a little bit longer still. So we're gonna get rid of this foot, paste it here. But we'll see, I may or may not keep on the floor longer. So, as Villain Quest was saying, this is the frame. You can see me stretching out this lower leg so much. This might be the frame where this straightens out a bit more. So let's erase this, so the proportions are a bit more realistic. And then let's see what happens if we move this closer in position. So this is kind of what we're looking for. So it's not perfectly straight, which is okay. The human body is rarely perfectly straight. So as long as it's straight enough, we're gonna get the motion we need. We're gonna get the power we need. So this is the first 3 frames. 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna connect this back up just because I think it looks a little nicer. And this leg could probably come down further. Actually, I kind of like it up here. What I might do... So this bottom leg is still a bit more stretched than it needs to be, but I think that's okay. At this frame, we're gonna lift. So there's 3 frames of contact, and then we have a lift. I think that's okay. This green leg needs to be different, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. When you do more like walk cycles, you kind of get an intuition for what poses should be kind of coupled together. And so when the leg is lifted, I know I don't want to pose like this. I know that I want to pose maybe more similar to, let's see. I probably want something more like this. And so like this leg is actually not too bad. I might move it over a little bit, but this is kind of what I'm looking for. So this leg is the bigger problem rather than this leg here. So I'm actually gonna keep that leg the same. I'm not gonna move that leg at all. You're actually right, I could move the toes so the toes are on contact and the heel of the foot is lifted, but I don't think that's how the rig is made, so I'm trying to like keep the limitations of the rig intact, so you don't have to like re-rig like a foot bone to make that happen. But that's perfectly like, that's very true. You could have the toes in contact and the heel lifted. This next frame also feels pretty good to me. This one, no, you could definitely backseat animate. I think it's good for conversation. I forget to mention some parts of my thought process, so this is actually good that you're also animating with me. So at this stage, I would probably start removing some frames. But I'm gonna do that at the end. I'm gonna pretend that this is okay and just have this linger back here. With this frame here, hey, Ornster! I actually drew your character earlier. I'm not sure if you came and saw, but this is what we ended up doing with your character. But now we're doing some animation. We're gonna be reviewing a run cycle. So let's make some more changes. I like these frames. This frame here is a little iffy to me, but we're gonna keep going. This one might be okay. This one might be okay. This, let's get a feel for it again. So this run is already feeling better to me. Well, the back leg is. Aside from how much it's easing on this back portion of the animation, I really want to get rid of this ease. It's far too much easing. Outside of that, I do like the overall motion of this leg. So I think we got that leg mostly sorted. We can review how that looks after we fix the green leg and see how things are looking together. Yeah, and that's also a really great method. If you do one animation for one leg correctly and you like it, you could just copy and paste it and then off cycle the frames to be the other leg. And that works great. But today we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna draw the legs both without copy and pasting. Yeah, Solomon, the green leg still looks weird. We haven't changed that leg yet. So sharp eye on that. We're gonna do that right now. And the first frame here of the green leg, I actually think is okay. So we're gonna keep that green leg the way it is. This frame, I think is okay too. That one's not too bad. This is where it gets, this is where we have a problem. And we talked about this a bit earlier, how like we want a certain kind of pose. So let's actually adjust the legs here to get that pose. Solomon says, why won't you do the in-between principle of animation? I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you rephrase the question? actually think I might also upturn this foot. If you have the foot more, or the leg, I mean, more down like this, it's gonna feel like you're kind of stomping, which isn't a bad, it's not a bad thing. We might actually prefer that if they're not running like super, super fast, which they're not. Oh, okay. I am reviewing an animation that was sent to me. So I already have a bunch of frames of animation here. So I'm correcting the animations and trying to go through each frame and talk about what could be improved on each frame. So that's why I'm kind of handling things the way I'm handling things. Otherwise, yeah, you could go to like key poses and then go and do the in-betweens. That's definitely a method you can do, and that's sometimes what I do as well. I like working in key poses, but today we kind of have a set of frames already, so we're kind of dissecting those frames and then correcting those frames. Okay, let's see. I think this could work for now. Let's move to the next frame. And this frame, we want to fully connect with the floor. So do we have a frame like that? We have this frame. So I'm gonna steal the foot from this frame, go back to the last frame, and we're just gonna anchor this foot back to the ground. Yeah, so we want to slide the foot over. I think for the orange foot, we have 3 frames of contact. So we want to have similar amount of contact on this leg as well. So we have 1, 2. So we got 3rd. I'm gonna want to lift on this frame, but we have a lift on this one instead. So what I'm gonna start doing is getting rid of some frames. We have too many frames. Okay, so we have way too many frames here. What I'm gonna do is I'll delete some frames after. I'm gonna animate this with the easing that it currently has and then get rid of the frames that we don't need. So let's say I want this to be the furthest point of the animation, just this leg here. And so on frame 9, that's what we want to see. And so at this point, I'm going to do what Solomon was saying, is that's my keyframe, and I'm just going to do in-betweens of that keyframe. So I'm putting the onion skin on so I can see my other frames. And this has that, we have better jitter here. Let's see. So I think is blue. Yeah, blue is the frame behind, and this light green is the frame ahead. Okay. So that jitter should be gone. Oh boy. We have some adjustments to make for sure. But let's get rid of this easing. So we have, let's see. We have this frame. And this frame here. I like this, but I need to actually... Well, let me take that back. I like the on the green, but the orange leg actually needs to be a different frame. It needs to be... Where are we? It needs to be something like this frame here. Where's that gonna put us? At this stage, I'm very tempted just to draw this cycle myself. We're gonna try to dissect this. What I was talking about earlier with the passing pose is that you want to have this. I'm gonna do a very ugly job, but this is the kind of pose we're looking for, and this is not the pose we have. So I'm trying to figure out how do we get there. What I might do is start animating both legs at the same time, which might get a little confusing, but I think we're at that stage. So we're just gonna quickly do a very sloppy job of animating these legs at the same time. So we have 1, 2, 3 points of contact. I'm going to delete frame 7 and 8 here. I don't think we need these anymore. So we're going to delete this frame. And delete this frame. And then we're just gonna select all these and just nudge them down. That. So this leg is also going to be pushed way out here. And we can fix for the proportions later on. Hey Sloth, how's it going? Yeah, the timing, the spacing is definitely off. So you want to adjust it so it feels more natural. We can also get rid of, actually we can't really get rid of this frame fully. Can we actually? We might be able to get rid of this. I don't think we need this frame. So we're going to delete this frame. don't think we need this one either. Okay, we can use this frame. I need some adjustments though. We want this. Let's see. Actually, we just want this leg here. Do we need this frame at all? We might not need 12 either. I'm getting rid of so many frames. I had tried to make this confusing. I think it might be a little confusing, guys. But all we're doing is we're removing frames that we don't need, so the motion reads better. And so with all these frames gone, the timing is going to be a bit off. They're running like a madman, but this does feel a little smoother. So what I might do is on the contact, I might hold that for a bit of extra time. I'm trying to still get this to be a 17 frame cycle, and I really shouldn't do that, but it'll be easier to compare the two if they have the same amount of frames. Let's see. So now green has a contact here. On frame 5. Okay. How's this? It's this frame here. We actually need to delete more frames. We need to delete more frame, guys. Okay. So I'm actually going to delete this frame here. And I'm going to delete could this work? Can we keep this? I don't think we need this frame either. So this frame has to go. There's so many frames gone. At this stage, we have basically like half the frames we started with. I think if we get rid of one more frame, we can have everything on 2s, which would be nice. So what can I get rid of? Need one more frame gone. This frame actually can be a contact pose. So let's change this up a little bit. So I want this to be like a bit of a tutorial, but this is way too hard to follow, I think, to be a proper tutorial. So yeah, this is closer. We're getting closer. Oh, you made the original piece in Vector? Hey, Orange Sir, since you're here, we're wondering, was this used in a game? Was it a video game character that you made? Or is it for something else? Hopefully they can hear me, because I think they went in the past. But we'll see. So the green leg is slamming down a little too hard. And that's because it's the only frame that's not doubled up. So this isn't perfect. There's some issues, but this is with some adjustments to the frames that we had. So I can turn this on, I can turn this on, and you see the difference. I can bring this layer, put on. Bring this layer off to the side. So the old one is on the left, and the new one is on the right. Okay, Golden Boy, thanks for stopping by. So what do you guys think? I know we're missing frames, it's not as smooth, but the overall motion, I know we can clean up that orange leg a little bit so it's not distorting as much. But for a quick restructure, I don't think it's too bad. This definitely is a good starting point to actually clean up the animation to make it more robust and more interesting. But yeah, I think this is... Yeah, I think it was meant to be kind of like a fast walk to begin with. That's the vibe I'm getting with this. Like, she isn't sprinting. She's kind of just like briskly walking. Kind of just like on a nice jaunt. But I agree. It doesn't have as much like she's really running hard. Oh yeah, this is what we were trying to fix. So we weren't making a walk cycle from scratch. We were actually trying to review this walk cycle. So this was the animation that we traced on top. And then this was the animation that we adjusted to try to make this work what I think is a little better. I know some people were coming in and out, so probably missed the explanation, but yeah, that was the goal. Yeah, it is fun. And I'll be doing some more redraws next week. I think I need to call it for today. Unfortunately, animation takes a lot out of me. It's a lot of fun, but it is also like a lot of brain power and thinking and planning. So I would like to have done a bit more like character redraws because we only got one done today. But if you want your character redrawn in the next stream, put it in the Discord and I'll save it for next stream. I have two I know of that we have to do. One is Tiny's, and I think there was one more. I totally forgot who it was. I need to go back in the chat, but hopefully they put it in the Discord. Put it in Discord so I can remember, guys, because I'm going to forget if you tell me live on stream. Alright, so I think that's going to call it for today. Thanks for joining me. Oh, the other one for Solomon. Right. Okay. It's Solomon. You go by Sab6D. And the display is just Sab. Okay, awesome. I'll keep an eye out for you then. Thanks everyone for coming to the stream. I'll see you guys later. Have a nice day.